Hey everyone, Kiki here, and I'm excited to bring you guys another prop making video. My personal favorite thing to do with cosplay is to make the props. So I've created a wand based on the Animal Crossing Star Wand I have here. And the colors are a bit different than what they are in the game. I wanted to try a kind of darker midnight colored version. However, if I were to remake this, there's a few other things I would probably change, but overall, I think I'm happy with my results. So if you'd like to know how I made this wand, please stick around and let's get to making. So starting out, I just take a reference image and I bring it into Blender and I model everything after that just to get my proportions correct. I have some scrap material in my garage I'm going to use for the pole, and these pieces just happen to work really well, so I'm going to be using a wooden dowel and a PVC pipe. I'm going to be doing some light sanding before I glue the pieces together, just so it will be easier before they're attached into one solid piece. So now that that's attached, we can move on to the next part, which is this little tiny cap here. I'm actually going to be resin printing it because I figured this would be easy, and it gives me a chance to practice with my resin printer, because at the time of creating this prop, I was still a little bit new to resin printing. So I'm printing with my Elegoo Mars. And if you're interested in getting into resin printing, I actually have quite a few videos on it, including a resin printing video for beginners. I have since been resin printing for over a year now, and it's definitely something that I favor for sure, and I think I'll continue to use it in my shop a lot. So now that the piece is done, I'm just going to go through the cleaning process. Again, I haven't tried the resin that's just cleanable with water. I'm very interested to try this though, and I think I'll probably grab a bottle soon just to check it out. Now that the piece is all nice and clean, I'm going to wait for it to dry before I start curing it with my UV light. I'm just showing this setup simply for the video, however I do have a box that I do my UV curing in. And I'm just going to remove all the supports. It didn't come out super clean, as you can see, but it's okay because I'm going to be filling in the pieces and sanding it anyway, and I didn't really want to bother with a reprint. And I'm filling in the gaps, so all of it will be very seamless, and I'm just going to sand it all nice and smooth and get it ready for painting. As far as the star goes, I'm going to print it with PLA instead and not on my resin printer, because at this time I just have the Mars and it's not very big, and I think it would just be easier to just go this route for now. And I can also cast it hollow, so it's very lightweight and doesn't use too much material. However, it did leave a lot of texturing, so I am having to go in and do a lot more cleanup than my resin print. It's not the end of the world, but it is a little bit extra time. I'm going to be using my Bondo spot putty for this portion. After I do a nice sanding on everything, I do usually go back and keep coating it and sanding it and coating it and sanding it until it's nice and smooth. And I'm still going to go in and do some more sanding, and I'm using spray paint filler to kind of fill in to get it nice and super smooth. So I'm going to be making a 2-part mold using silicone. This specifically is Rebound 25. So this is the first portion of my 2-part mold, which so far came out really nicely. And now I'm just going to be pouring in the second half. And because I plan on roto-casting the stars, I am going to make a plug in the top so that I will just pour in the resin in the top and then add the plug so that I can roto-cast the stars. So both pieces came out nicely, so now we can go ahead and spray the mold release and do a nice casting. I'm just going to use rubber bands to hold my mold together for now. I think this is just what's going to be easy. And I have my little plug piece here, so I just pop it in after I pour the material in Roto-cast. And I Roto-cast with 65D. And then I like to pour in a second reinforced layer with Smooth Cast 300. So this is the finished piece. It needs a little bit of cleanup and sanding, but after it's done sanding, we can go ahead and prime. So I decided to go with a black, and then I added in pigmented clear coats to get these colors.
So thank you for sticking around. If you did happen to watch the whole video, if you're interested in any of these materials, they are all listed below. I'm not affiliated or sponsored by any of these things. These are just products I personally like to use. So if you have more questions, just let me know. I know some steps didn't quite get recorded, but I do plan on making specific tutorials for each of these things. So I do have a lot of tutorials and much more to come. Like I said, I am newer to YouTube, so hitting that like and subscribe button really helps me, and I hope to continue to make videos this year and many years to come. I also want to say a personal thank you to all my Twitch supporters this month for January. I really appreciate your continued support, and I can't wait to stream again to hang out with you guys, some stuff that I'll be working on in the studio.